In this extensive conversation, Joe Rogan and Ethan Hawke delve into a variety of topics spanning Ethan's acting career, early experiences with Hollywood, the challenges of childhood fame, the craft of acting, the impact of social media on youth, personal growth through humility and learning, the psychological aspects of performance, and reflections on life, fear, and dedication. Ethan shares candid stories from his life, offers insights into his profession, and discusses broader themes of human potential and artistic pursuit. Ethan recounts how he began acting at age 12, initially through a local theater play in New Jersey, sparked by a neighbor's acting class. This first experience exposed him to a vibrant, creative environment, sharply contrasting with the unhappy work lives of his parents. He describes the thrill of rehearsals, passionate discussions, and the realization that acting could be a viable career. Though many children aspire to this, Ethan's early immersion stood out, planting the seeds for his future. At 14, Ethan landed a role in a big-budget movie directed by Joe Dante alongside River Phoenix. This experience was his introduction to Los Angeles and the movie industry. Living with his grandmother in Koreatown, navigating the challenges of being a young actor and family dynamics, Ethan highlights both the lure and harsh realities of Hollywood. Despite initial excitement, the film flopped, and harsh criticism at its premiere disillusioned him, leading him to shelve acting for several years. After high school and briefly attending college, Ethan returned to acting through an open casting call for Dead Poets Society. His expectations were low, braced for failure, but he secured a role that redirected his path significantly. He discusses how this film, guided by director Peter Weir and co-starring Robin Williams, emphasized deeper themes like seizing the day and introduced him to an artistic and collaborative approach. Ethan's modest expectations prevented him from being overwhelmed by success, allowing him to focus on the joy of the craft rather than fame. Ethan shares thoughtful reflections on the dangers of children entering professional acting at a young age, describing the experience as a kind of concrete that hardens development and can cause lasting trauma if mishandled. He admires Jodie Foster as an exceptional example of someone who navigated childhood stardom successfully. His perspective, shaped by his own slow and measured entry into acting fame, stresses the importance of maturity, parental support, and a stable environment to resist the toxic effects of early celebrity. Ethan gives a heartfelt account of his mother's life, an 18-year-old single mom who later joined the Peace Corps and dedicated decades to helping Roma children in Romania. He contrasts her earlier struggles and unhappiness at work with the independent path she forged later in life. The discussion touches on the pressures and complexities of single motherhood and how family dynamics and parental resilience shaped Ethan's development. Ethan explores how diverse life experiences enrich an actor's ability to inhabit characters authentically. He discusses method acting not as rigid rules, but as a personal journey to unlock imagination and empathy by immersing oneself deeply into the lives of others, from WU2 vets to jazz musicians to cops. He emphasizes the importance of curiosity, non-judgmental observation, and the continual expansion of one's identity through varied roles and life lessons. The conversation honors mentors and admired figures such as Vanessa Redgrave and Chris Christopherson, focusing on their humility, wisdom, and broad creative pursuits. Ethan underlines the value of having role models who live complex, authentic lives and who approach their craft with curiosity and integrity rather than hero worship or idealization. These relationships provide intellectual nourishment and inspiration for sustaining a lifelong dedication to art. Ethan discusses the elusive quality of great acting, likening it to hypnotic immersion, where actors disappear into their roles, creating a shared imaginative experience. He warns against bad acting that feels self-conscious or glib and offers insights into the technical and emotional work required to achieve natural presence. He compares acting to sports or music, where mastery involves hard practice, subconscious flow, and responding intuitively to scene partners to create authenticity. The dialogue turns to the effects of modern digital life, especially social media's detrimental influence on attention spans and cognition, particularly for young people. Ethan and Joe share worries about how smartphones fragment focus and exacerbate anxiety, while acknowledging the social pressures children face to engage online. Ethan advocates for open discussions, leading by example, and teaching responsibility rather than imposing strict bans, emphasizing the importance of boredom and self-friendship for mental health. Ethan reflects on his and others' struggles with negative reviews and the toxicity of online comment sections. He stresses the necessity of developing thick skin and perspective to withstand hostile opinions, many of which stem from the critic's own issues rather than reality. The conversation underscores the harm in obsessing over criticism, how it demoralizes performers, and the mental discipline required to focus on one's craft over public judgment. Ethan shares valuable advice from a director who urged him to say, "I don't know," in order to remain teachable and open to growth. They discuss the importance of humility in any discipline and the benefits of constantly engaging in new endeavors, whether directing, graphic novels, or piano lessons, to keep the mind flexible and receptive. This beginner's mind attitude enhances one's primary craft by preserving curiosity and reducing ego. The conversation touches on the Japanese concept of kaizen, the continuous refining of one's skill, alongside the idea of apprenticing in multiple areas for broader perspective. Ethan appreciates focusing deeply on acting, but also branching into documentary filmmaking and writing, which provide adjacent skills and foster empathy toward collaborators. This holistic approach nurtures respect, humility, and richer artistic collaboration on set. Ethan describes the immersive disappearance effect of acting, how being on a film set in period costumes or surrounded by a committed ensemble creates a dreamlike escape from everyday life. This deep focus offers relief from daily worries and a profound sense of connection to something larger. Both he and Joe share experiences of nature and cosmic wonder as comparable moments where the self dissolves, allowing peace and clarity. The discussion shifts to Ethan's experience in martial arts and combat sports, acknowledging the necessity of fear and nervousness for peak performance. He notes the dangers of complacency and the importance of embracing anxiety as a motivator rather than denying it. The story of Mike Tyson's mindset illustrates how confidence can grow alongside fear, creating a powerful balance that drives success in high-pressure situations. Ethan reveals that his artistic chase is not for fame or money, but for the rare moments of creative magic and connection, brief glimpses of excellence shared with collaborators. He contrasts this with societal obsessions with wealth and status, emphasizing that true art resonates on an emotional, almost spiritual level, and that this pursuit defines his motivation. The idea that art is a genuine expression of human creativity, not pretentiousness, is central to their exchange. They agree that fear and humility don't disappear with experience, but transform into companions that keep one sharp and engaged. Even seasoned performers face moments of doubt and must continually prepare and refocus. Stories from acting, fighting, and theater reinforce that nerves are signs of caring and readiness rather than weakness, and embracing them is part of professional growth. Ethan shares anecdotes about working with Denzel Washington on training day, including how much of Denzel's dialogue was improvised from months of active listening and real-world observation during ride-alongs with police. This highlights the collaborative nature of filmmaking and how great actors contribute creatively beyond the script to elevate the material. The mutual respect on set fosters a dynamic environment where actors build on each other's energy. Throughout the conversation, Ethan emphasizes the delicate balance between adult responsibility and retaining childlike enthusiasm and humility. Navigating a career in the public eye, managing family life, and sustaining artistic integrity require both mature self-awareness and a playful, open approach to learning and creativity. This duality fuels his approach to acting and life in general. Ethan and Joe conclude with mutual gratitude and appreciation for the conversation, their shared enjoyment of storytelling, and the value of dedicating oneself to a craft. They celebrate the process, with all its failures, discoveries, fears, and joys, as the essence of meaningful work and life.